What is going on, CU crew? Welcome back to another episode of the Totally Unqualified podcast. We unfortunately do not have Luke with us today as he's out doing his production stuff. But, we have somebody, you could argue maybe a little better. Maybe it's maybe it's a little bittersweet, but emphasis on the sweet part. We got Mr. Elsped in the building with us, Stephen Pavelka, if you want to know his full name. What's going on, Sped?
Hello, how you guys doing?
Good. Welcome back. Always love to have you. Gage, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Like I said, before we started recording, I was drinking a little while prior to this, starting to, chill out a little bit, but I'm good. I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, I just watched the Rangers absolutely kick the Penguins' ass 5-2 in game 2 of the first round. So I am thriving right now. Great game. Desperately want to see a Canes versus Rangers second round match.
I need to watch the Canes game tomorrow. I'm off work. There's no reason for me not to. We're up 2-0 in the series.
Got to playoff hockey. Playoff hockey.
Got to do it. Got to get into it.
Electric. But anyway, so since Luke isn't here, we're not gonna do guess that player, but we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna see how many of us can name. We're just gonna go around a circle, name backup quarterbacks, current backup quarterbacks. We have 5 seconds to answer. Should we up it 10 seconds? We'll do 10 seconds.
I think start with 10. If we go a little long, then we'll move it down to 5.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling out my phone just for the timer. Not gonna be looking up the names or anything like that. But
timer.
Do we trust him? Do we trust this?
I don't trust him normally, but whatever.
All right. We'll start with 10 seconds. Look, here it is. There it is.
Yeah. All right. You're good.
Who are we starting with? Who's going to kick it off? I think Sped being the guest.
Sped, go first. Yeah.
All right.
By the way, just to these could be current quarterbacks who are backups at any point in their career.
Yeah.
Any point.
Correct.
As long as they're a backup quarterback currently playing, they count.
Correct. And go.
Geno Smith.
Bro. All right. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
That's mean. Jeez. Tavares Jackson. Oh, wait, no, he's not currently playing. Shit. Okay. My bad. Sorry. Tom Brady. I'll just take the easy option.
Colt McCoy.
Ian Book.
Ooh.
He's just taking our team.
Josh McCown.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, no, he's not playing anymore, is he?
He's
Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
I gotta.
Brian Hoyer.
Malik Willis.
Davis Mills.
Tyrod Taylor.
Jarrett Stidham.
Patrick Mahomes.
Wait, why am I blanking already? Tua.
Joe Flacco.
Tyrod Taylor.
I said him already.
You said Tyrod Taylor. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 seconds.
2,
Jesus.
1.
Sam Brad. No. It's fuck.
Oh, you ran out of time.
That's hard. Shit.
It is tougher than you think. It's like as soon as you start doing it, you're like, oh my God, I don't know anybody.
Shit. Oh my God.
You want to run the
timer? That was fucking hard.
You want to run the timer for us now and see how long
Sped
and I can go?
Yeah. All right. Damn. I was trying to think of the Vikings backup. Who is it?
Kyle Sloter.
Who is it?
Kyle Sloter or Texas A&M guy.
Yeah. What is his name? I'm already forgetting.
He's
awful.
Team. Yeah. Now that I'm relaxed, I have so many other options popping up in my brain.
Well, I was going to say Kyle Sloter next, but I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah. All right. Ready, set, go.
Taylor Heineke.
Mitch Trubisky.
Mason Rudolph.
Lamar Jackson.
Ooh. 5 seconds.
Davis Mills.
I said Davis Mills
already.
Oh,
1 and Gage wins.
Kurt Binkert.
Oh, there he goes. Just solidify the win. That was hard. Shit. We should do that more often.
It's harder than you think. And all the people at home listening are going to be yelling at us like, you didn't say this person.
When you're on the clock like that, I was saying people that aren't even playing right now. Like, I was like, fucking, geez. Brian Hoyer, I don't think was mentioned. Like, that's an obvious.
Hoyer.
You said Hoyer? Okay. Yeah. Damn. There's some obvious ones. Who's
Bailey
the
Zappi.
fucking
Chase McDaniel.
Josh Rosen?
Yeah,
Kinda,
I didn't say any,
Garoppolo.
yeah, I didn't say any of the Saints, but Taysom Hill, he's technically a tight end now. You said
I was
Ian
thinking
Book.
Luke McCown the entire time, but he's not playing anymore, right?
No, it's been a long time since Luke McCown
Jeez.
played.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was way off.
I watched him play a game in, I want to say 2015 in Carolina. Dude, he had like a 70 plus completion pass percentage or completion percentage.
That's how you know it was all Sean Payton.
It was wild.
None of it was Drew Brees. It was all Sean.
Yeah, Drew Brees, who
Why he wanted Tom Brady.
True. All right. We're gonna move on here. If you guys have not seen it yet, now if you guys aren't following our Instagram account yet, be sure to go do that at Totally Unqualified Pod on Instagram. We recently just put up, courtesy of Sped over there, put up a best DB rooms in the NFL graphic, and we're gonna kind of react to it because I know I had some people that I didn't see on there. I had teams specifically that I didn't see on there that I would have liked to see on there. Is it biased? Maybe. It's possibly biased. It's definitely biased, 100%. But here, let me just pull up the graphic right here, unless one of you guys have it pulled up yet.
I have it pulled up.
Oh, there you go.
So Sped made it, obviously. So I'm gonna let you just go through it real quick, and then I think we can discuss if you're cool with that. If you want to just go top to bottom real quick.
Yeah, just read the teams.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So number 1, I put the LA Chargers. 2, New Orleans Saints. 3, Buffalo Bills. 4, Baltimore Ravens. And number 5 is the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. So what team did you feel was missing, Jake?
I feel like you guys are sleeping on Kobe Bryant, Tariq Woolen, and Trey Brown.
No
I
shot.
feel
You
like
guys
that's
are sleeping on these
absolutely-
guys that haven't played a snap in the NFL.
I feel like our Trey Brown has. He's looked good.
Trey Brown.
We're gonna we'll move past it. But no, I don't think you can disagree with the Chargers at 1. I mean, they're just stacked. But man, it's hard for me not to put the Packers higher. I mean, they're so good. You go through that list, man. I mean, Adrian Amos, Darnell Savage, that safety duo is awesome. Jair Alexander's as good as anybody in the NFL.
Eric Stokes had a very good first season, honestly.
Rasul Douglas had a great year last year.
Yeah.
He's their third guy. I mean, that's tough. What was your thought process with the Packers at 5?
Yeah, so like I said, it was between them and Denver is what I was thinking. between
Denver,
these
yeah.
5. But the thing about Green Bay is that they don't have the experience. Eric Stokes playing 1 year. Rasul Douglas hasn't shown to play at an elite level like he did last year. So I haven't seen these guys perform like I've seen Trey White, like I've seen Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters play. So how am I going to put them above them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think there's an argument to be made about them potentially over the Ravens, just if we're basing it off of, what have you done for me lately? I don't hate them at 5 under the Ravens, though, for sure. And that's the only team I think they have an argument potentially over on this list for sure. The rest of them, I mean, the Bills are better, that arguably the best safety duo in the league.
Best pass defense last year statistically.
Yeah, 100%.
And they lost Trey White for like the last couple of games of the season too.
Yeah, it's an injury.
They're still the best. Yeah.
I will say the Chargers at 1, I don't disagree with, but the JC Jackson addition puts them there. That is the biggest thing. I think if you don't have JC Jackson on that secondary,
I don't think they're on this list if you don't have JC Jackson.
Yeah, there's the potential for them to fall off of this list completely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when we add a borderline top 5 corner.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I don't think it's borderline at all. I think JC Jackson's absolutely top 5.
Based on what we've seen the past few seasons.
If he was still a Patriot, I'd say guaranteed top 5. Just
and then
I got hurt.
I'll kick off the Saints talk here. I think it's a similar situation with the Saints here. Obviously, the addition of Tyrann Mathieu does a ton for them. I mean, we're talking about a top 5 safety in the league being added to a secondary that I've been saying it for a little while now. I think we came into the offseason in a very bad position and came out of it potentially with a better roster, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because Tyrann Mathieu is a great addition. Marcus May, I think, is still a potential like top 10 safety in the league. And we got both of them for a bargain. So I mean, I love it. I think that they deserve to be there. I think it's the same kind of thing with like the Packers and the Ravens, though. There's definitely an argument for the Bills to be over them because Trey White, obviously one of the best corners in the league. I just said a few minutes ago that the Bills have arguably the best safety duo in the league. And then we haven't seen anything out of Kaiir Elam yet, but great college tape, great rookie. They obviously liked what they saw out of him, and he won the first round because of it. So
I do want to get your thought process about one guy, though.
Okay.
Sped. I mean, about one team. Cleveland.
Yeah.
Why was Cleveland left off this list? Denzel Ward. I mean, they got Greg Newsome, who's a great addition. They got a really good safety duo, Grant Delpit, John Johnson, who's really good for them.
Yeah, so John Johnson didn't have his best year, obviously. Yeah. He left those all in LA. I hope he can be back. I know Gators were extremely high on him.
I'm a big John Johnson guy. It tore me up to see him kind of struggle last season.
Yeah.
Because I think he's one of the better safeties in the league, really.
Yeah.
Grant Delpit, I'm not high on. I think he's decent, but I don't think he's an above average safety. I think he's average at best right now. Okay. And I got so much hate for saying that on a video.
I don't think that's
so you got an average safety, in my opinion. And then somebody who is an above average safety, but struggled last year. And then Denzel Ward is a top 10 corner. But then you got, who's the other? Greg Newsome.
Yeah.
Who was solid, but like I said, it's the same thing with Eric Stokes 1 year.
Yep.
So it's fair. Like I don't have anybody besides Ward to really solidify that as a top 5 DB.
But they're top 10.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I didn't really think of it that far.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, like they're in there for first team out. I mean,
I could see that. Yeah, the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't know. You say you're taking inexperience into account, but you put Kaiir Elam in the Bills secondary. You include Kyle Hamilton.
Oh
the
yeah,
Ravens secondary.
I mean, there's still
the snap.
There's still the key factors into the ranking. Like I'm saying, like it's not like keeping them off the list, right? Like I'm putting Eric Stokes and Rasul Douglas on here. But it's something that I'm also looking at. Like Kyle Hamilton and Kaiir Elam aren't the reason they're in the top 5.
Okay. Yeah, I can see what you're saying because like the addition of those players is definitely not making the secondary worse, even like for the Ravens and for the Bills. But we don't know how much better it'll make it yet either. And I think that like for the Ravens, for example, the Marcus Williams addition weighs more into that than the Kyle Hamilton addition because we've seen what Marcus Williams can do. And then the Bills, like Sped just said a couple minutes ago, they were already the best pass defense in the league statistically. And then you add a young guy with a lot of upside, and it's like I don't see him being a liability and making them any worse than what they already are.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, if Kaiir Elam didn't get drafted to the Bills, I don't think I could have them in the top 5. Reason being is because they had the best passing defense last year, right? But besides Trey White, they have Teron Johnson as now CB3. He would have been CB2. And then after that, it just falls off. So it's like you don't have a CB2 if you don't have Kaiir Elam.
Okay.
So they got my CB3 in the draft, and I love that fit.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people didn't really consider that a huge position of need for the Bills. But it's a valid point that after Trey White, there's not a whole lot there. Like, I mean, they've been lacking for a while.
I just want to say, going through these defensive depth charts, San Francisco has one of the worst secondaries I've ever seen.
It's bad.
It's bad. Jesus Christ.
There's Ward though.
Ambry Thomas is your.
He's solid. Every time
I guess he's solid, but like, is he a CB1?
No. He's also 22, 23, so it's hard to expect that though.
I don't know if it's hard to like. You got guys like Jalen Ramsey, Tre'Davious White. You got Denzel Ward. You got guys coming into the league now that are like ready, that are like just coming
picks.
I know, but like, I just don't think you could say that like a young, just because he's young, he's like even JC Jackson just coming out was kind of like a shock, was really good.
And like they have Jason Verret, and there's been talks about him, and we saw some flashes, but it's like it goes back into it goes back into what Sved was saying earlier as far as like these rookies and stuff. We just haven't seen a ton out of him. We've seen some upside. We've seen the potential for him to be a solid, like be that CB1, but he's injured so often, and we just haven't seen enough of it for him to really be a reliable guy to keep in that position.
Jason Verret is one of the saddest stories in the NFL, man, because he is so talented, and he's just, I don't think I've seen a more injury-prone player. It's just like, it's sad.
His former teammate, Raheem Mostert, might have something to say about that.
Yeah.
Most hurt.
Most hurt. Oh. Yeah, but San Fran's not going to do shit this year with that secondary. I'm sorry. Like, Jimmy Ward is good. Jimmy Ward's really good. That's it. Like, that's all I'm looking at here. Yeah. Maybe if Jason Verret stays healthy. Tariq Castro-Fields from Penn State, he's a rookie.
UDFA.
Some good stuff there, but like, in my opinion, like he's a CB3.
He's not going to add a lot.
Yeah. No, like he was solid. Like, he was a solid college corner, but he still gave up some big plays. So like, you know how that's going to translate to the NFL? Probably not well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, some teams have really bad secondary issues, and the Seahawks are not one of them. So I'm happy that that's been addressed. Yeah.
How do you guys think Kyle Hamilton? How do you think his rookie season goes? Because you look at, go ahead. You look at this, and obviously they add Marcus Williams, and they have Chuck Clark. So it's like, I mean, there's not a ton of need right there, like as of now, but he's still like a player that people hold in high regard. So you feel like you try to work him into the defense somehow, but how do they do that?
They got to trade. They're going to trade. They're going to trade Chuck Clark. There's no way in hell they don't trade Chuck Clark, because you don't draft him. Now, the Ravens come from the, Ozzie Newsome mindset of just take best player available at all times.
Yeah. I mean, it's working out.
It's worked out pretty damn well. The Ravens make the draft look like a joke every year. They're just like, why would you not take this guy here? Like, they take guys that are passed over for stupid reasons every year. And everybody's like, oh, fuck, the Ravens got him. Why didn't we do that? Yeah, because they're not stupid. And listen, they got this was a guy that was projected to go top 3 like a month ago. Like, this guy is super talented, has all talent in the world. And Chuck Clark's like good. Chuck Clark's good. But I think Kyle Hamilton's ceiling is just way higher. It's way higher. It's not even close. Like, Chuck Clark. Buster and Buster got his word in about Chuck Clark too. No, but like Chuck Clark is a very solid safety, but he is not. If you can go and grab a Kyle Hamilton who could be a franchise changing safety, you go and do that, because they had a guy by the name of Ed Reed who came in and changed that entire culture around with Ray Lewis. So they're trying to build a special defense there in Baltimore, and they got a special guy. So I think you make room for a guy like Kyle Hamilton. Like, you make room for him. And I can't see them going out and getting rid of Marcus Williams, because they literally just signed him.
Maybe cheap either.
Yeah, maybe they start the season with all these guys on the same team. They like Kyle Hamilton's pretty versatile. Like, he could play a little nickel if he had to, but maybe like by the trade deadline they get rid of Chuck Clark. But I just can't see a world where Chuck Clark stays on this team. I can't.
You got Sped. What do you think?
Yeah, so I 100% see a way that Chuck Clark stays on the team and fulfills his entire contract. So he's a unrestricted free agent in 2024. So he has this year and next year, and then he's a free agent. He's making nothing. They could move him if they wanted to. His biggest cap hit is in 2023 with $5 million. And so it's not going to hurt them at all to cut him, trade him, whatever they want to do. But his base salary is $2 million and $3 million. So it's not like he's taking up any money at all. And with Kyle Hamilton, you can move him into the box if you need to. Kind of like Jamal Adams, you can put him really wherever you want. If you want him to play the deep third and take Marcus Williams out, you can do that. If you want him to play a box safety, move around the field, like you move Chuck Clark around the field, you can do that. I think having 3 safeties is valuable because it allows you to take one out, give them a breather, and then put the last one in.
Yeah. So you think, though, like, it's not a matter of who's going to get taken out, and so that we can incorporate this guy, they're just going to put him wherever they need him. They're going to use all three as much as they can.
Yeah, no, because at the end of the day, football is a rotational sport. If player can't play the entire game, he doesn't need to. You just need somebody that can fill his shoes for a few plays.
Especially, I mean, as injured as this team was last season, wanting to rotate that lineup, I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. And with what do you think the trade value for Chuck Clark is? Because I don't think it's anything worth what he gives that Ravens defense.
I think it's high because you're getting a guy, like you said, that's cheap and has some years on his deal. I think that's actually a pretty high trade value. It's not a guy who's just a 1-year rental. Like, he's a guy that you can.
I can see that too.
On. Yeah.
I don't think that you're going to get a ton for him, but I think that you're definitely going to get some value there for what you're giving up. I don't think that Chuck Clark is like phenomenal and that he offers a lot, that like he's getting paid a lot less than what he's worth or anything like that. But I think that depending on what they could get out of it, especially, I mean, we were just talking about like the 49ers, for example, and the position that they're in. If you can get a guy like that for cheap and have some years on his contract and not have to worry about him dipping out next offseason or something like that, there's the potential for them to reach out and try to pick up a guy like that. So I could see it going either way. I could see them definitely rotating all three of those guys. And I don't think the Ravens are going to move on from him prior to the trade deadline or anything like that. But I could also see it going the other way and them definitely moving him at some point. Well, I think we'll have to see more as far as how the first half of the season progresses. Once we get a few weeks in and they see how things are going with this rotation that they're trying to run, I think that'll really decide Chuck Clark's fate.
Yeah. But we'll see. Cause like you said, Spud, there's a role for him as a utility guy. And it gives them a lot of, different things that they can do back there and still have a talented, group in the secondary. But we're not really considering the human aspect there. Like, Chuck Clark's going from a starting safety playing every down to you're going to be taken off you're not going to be playing every down now. Like, you're going to be taken off the field. All of these guys are going to be taken out. And that kind of goes to the unselfish. Now, maybe he's a very unselfish player and he's team first and he's okay with that. But that's 50-50 in the NFL if they're like that.
It's like taking Malik Willis when Ryan Tannehill's the starter.
Yeah. Oh my God. Should we get into some draft talk? Should we talk about some of that?
I posted a video about it earlier, but we can mention it real quick if you like.
Yeah. What do you guys think of what Ryan Tannehill said? Because I think it's being blown out of proportion.
I think it's being blown out of proportion also. He doesn't have a mandate to be the mentor to this guy, especially a guy. The way that I put it in my video is that imagine you're at work, right? You're at work tomorrow and your boss comes in and they're like, hey, there's this new employee. They're going to chill with you. You're going to teach them everything you know. But the second that they look like they could be doing a better job than you, they're going to take your job and we might fire you.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good, right? You sound like you might be a little bit hesitant in that situation. I can see that. And in the big picture of things, I don't think that's how Ryan Tannehill feels anyway. I think that he's willing to teach him. He's willing to answer any questions he has, but he's not going to go out of his way to try and make this guy the starter or anything.
Yeah. No. So you're teammates with your teammate until they're trying to come for your position.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you're competing against your own teammate.
Yeah.
And it's not your job as a teammate to teach them how to take your job, essentially. It's your job to do your job the best you can. And if they learn something like Tannehill said, that's great. But it's not your job to teach them anything. And that's the thing that bothers me is that everybody with the clips that have been sent out, they've had the shocked faces or something like that. Why is that shocking? He literally said, it's not my job. The word was job.
It's not.
It's not. His job is to play football and play quarterback.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't do well, but.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be the Brett Favre situation. Brett Favre is the most notorious for coming out and saying this. It's not my job to mentor Aaron Rodgers. I'm here to play. And he ended up playing 3 more years while Aaron Rodgers was on the bench. So, but even now that relationship has kind of simmered down a little bit and they're kind of friends now, Aaron still comes out and says, no, if I had a question, Brett would answer it. He'd tell me what he was seeing. He would still. That's how I feel this relationship is going to be. To the media, we're going to blow it out of proportion more than it actually is. Is Ryan Tannehill going to be like what Alex Smith was for Patrick Mahomes, where Alex Smith was like so open to mentoring Patrick Mahomes, even though he knew he was eventually coming for his job and he did so many things for Pat. I don't think it's going to be like that. But like, if you think Ryan Tannehill, none of us know Ryan Tannehill personally, but I think we can all agree he seems like a really good guy. Like, come on. I feel like if Malik asks him a question like, hey, what were you seeing on that, defensive look there? Like, you think he's not going to answer it? No, he's going to, I saw the safety dip, so I kind of went that way. He's going to answer the question.
See right there. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on. Like, he's not going to go out of this way and be this kid's teacher. Like, he's going to, if Malik asks him a question, he's going to answer it. Let's not be silly here. He's going to fucking answer the question. But why are we all worried about the players teaching these guys when that is the coach's job? Yeah. It's like, wait, what do you mean your starting quarterback isn't going to teach his eventual replacement? Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's the coach's job, because that's literally in their job description. It's not in Ryan Tannehill's. It's in theirs. They're getting paid millions of dollars, $100,000 to teach these guys how to play quarterback in the NFL. Why do we never put it on them? Why is it always the current starter's job? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's not. It's not. When Ryan Tannehill signed his contract with the Tennessee Titans, it did not say, and you agree to mentor any quarterback we bring in to be. No, it didn't fucking say that. Now, in the quarterback coach's job, guess what it fucking said? And you agree to mentor any quarterback. Yes, it said it there. It said it there. So, like, why are we putting this on Ryan? Why is it always the job of the players and not the job of the fucking coaches? Like, why do we not? I think this is ridiculous. I think this is such a stupid discussion. I am for players, either whatever decision they make. If they come out and they say, yeah, I'll absolutely mentor this guy. Absolutely. Like, that's great. If they come out and say, it's not my job, I totally understand. Because, like,
it's not their job.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. And like these, LaShawn McCoy, Cam Chancellor even came out and said well, Cam, you never had a safety that was good enough to come up. Like Cam Chancellor said something. He never had a strong safety good enough to come and compete with him for his job. There was never anybody close. Then LaShawn McCoy came out and said something too. LaShawn McCoy in his prime, there was nobody close to him that was going to come and actually compete with him for his job. These players saying this shit, they never felt this. They were like mentoring backups. They were like, oh yeah, I want you to be I want you to be a good backup here in case I got to come off the field for 2 plays. Like, of course.
It's the situations where you have a guy that like could genuinely come in and compete for your position or something like that. Like the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers situation, which we didn't know that about Aaron Rodgers at the time, really.
No,
we just knew that, talented kid, who's going to come in and be a backup, whatever. So you're like, I get it. I understand why he's not going to teach him a bunch of stuff as a great, because he doesn't want to lose his job. And I feel like it's very, very situational and people don't take that into consideration. Like me as a Saints fan, I'll use that as an example. I never at any point was like, oh shit, this guy's going to come in and compete for Drew Brees' job. It was just not going to happen. It wasn't something that he had to worry about. So he was totally open to mentoring these younger guys that came in all the time, whether it be a Jameis Winston or a Garrett Grayson, who was on the team for like 2 or 3 years and never panned out to be anything.
That's a throwback.
So wow. I feel like it is very situational. It's how comfortable you are with the team, so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like to say I did think of Garrett Grayson when we were doing our backup quarterbacks, but he's also not playing.
Is he in this? Where is he now?
Not playing.
Who knows?
Just not playing football.
No.
Also, while we were talking, Kellen Mond. That's
Kellen Mond. Yes.
Kellen Mond.
Yeah.
I was also thinking of Sean Mannion. Sean Mannion was another person on my mind.
I didn't want to say it while we were talking, but that's what I was thinking.
Case Keenum.
Yeah. Case Keenum. Oh my God. Look at it flow now.
Yeah.
Just of course, when
There's no timer going now.
Baker Mayfield. That's enough.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's true.
All right, let's move on here. So we're gonna do a random rankings today, and this one's actually gonna be pretty fun because we just I know I'm pretty sure Gage did. We just randomly generated colleges on a random college generator online, and we are gonna name the top 5 players in the NFL currently from those colleges. So
absolutely.
I think this could be fun because we're going to throw out some names that you guys are like, oh shit, they went there. And then we're also going to throw out some names and be like, yeah.
I'm going to say real quick before we get started, I feel like we should not say the colleges. Like we all know already because we've talked about it.
Okay.
But for the people listening, let's not say the colleges until the end. That way they can kind of like be thinking about it and trying to figure it out.
Okay.
I think that's fair. That'd be cool.
That's fair. I like that. All right. So Gage, you want to start us off?
Sure. Yeah. I'm going to start at 5 and then work my way up to 1. Okay. At number 5, I've got Packers backup quarterback Kurt Binkert. Solid player. You know, we've seen a couple things, but you know, not a ton there. He just hasn't really had an opportunity just yet.
Yeah.
At number 4, I've got Eagles strong safety Anthony Harris. Also a guy that's been around for a little while. He's shown some talent, but as of recently hasn't looked quite as good, at least not on the Eagles. At number 3, I have got Ravens tackle Morgan Moses, who also as of lately not quite as good.
Yeah.
And then at number 2, I have got Chiefs safety Juan Thornhill. And
okay. I know.
Yeah, and at number 1, I have got Colts safety Rodney McLeod.
Okay.
So if you haven't gotten it up to this point, these are the top 5 players currently in the NFL from the University of Virginia.
Yeah, go Cavs, baby.
Yeah, Cavaliers action. Yeah. But I was looking through this list, and I mean, there's like one other guy that was a starter that I didn't name. Kurt Binkert obviously is not a starter. The rest of these guys are. That one other guy was Olamide Zaccheaus, I believe is how you pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
On the Falcons. He's now a starter. Probably not by their choice, but I felt, you know, maybe that's disrespectful, but I didn't feel that he was meant to be on this list.
I feel like you do. Yeah, I feel like you do need to. I feel like you do need to include TikTok star Kurt Binkert.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just for his Madden prowess, throw him on the list.
100%.
So yeah,
100%. All right, Sped, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So I have an honorable mention. I'll say that for last because he's a rookie and everybody knows where he's from.
Okay. Gotcha.
So 5, Charles Leno Jr. 4, Alexander Madison.
Oh, okay.
3, Cedric Wilson, now in the Dolphins.
Yeah.
2, Leighton Vander Esch, who is overrated. And 1, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Gotcha. And 2 Cowboys back to back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody of these deserves 1 or 2 besides them. And number 1, or honorable mention, my bad, is Khalil Shakir. And that's Boise State.
Yeah.
Boise State. I mean, they had those magical runs with Kellen Moore. Jay Jai is another notable name from Boise State.
Oh wow.
He had those 4 games of glory and with the Dolphins, and he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Yeah.
I feel like I personally would have gone Alexander Madison over Cedric Wilson.
100%.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I feel like there's at least a debate there.
I think there is, because
Cedric Wilson fan.
Alexander Madison is a starting running back on any other NFL team.
Truly.
And I do believe that.
Any other?
Sped, you would kill for an Alexander Madison on the Patriots.
No, I would kill for Damian Harris on the Patriots. That's what I'd kill for. Oh my
God. You would take Damian Harris over Alexander Madison?
Yes.
Damian Harris is not going to last much longer on the Patriots.
No.
You know this.
No doubt.
They cycle through running backs like crazy.
I did my top 35, 36 running backs at the end of this season, and Damian Harris was like 22.
Yeah. But didn't you just draft 2 running backs?
Yeah. Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris.
Yeah.
But
Harris gone.
We don't talk about that. Cedric Wilson, big fan of him, massive big playability. And he's a starter right now. Alexander Madison isn't. And is that because he has a top 6 running back in front of him?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But Cedric Wilson also has a top 3 receiver in front of him and a rookie that broke the receptions record last year. So, I mean, I feel like it's kind of fair comparison.
And on his other team, he had Amari Cooper and CD
Michael
Lamb
Gallup.
and Michael Gallup in front of him. So, fair enough. I like Cedric Wilson. I think there's some talent there, and he's got more of an opportunity to show it now. But Alexander Madison is that dude.
I'd argue less opportunity with who's throwing him the football. But
also a solid point.
Sure.
All right, Jake, what you got?
All right. I also have a rookie as my honorable mention, so I will not say that until last. At number 5, this one's gonna be hard. At number 5, I have Justin Sternad, linebacker from the Broncos. He registered about 33 tackles last year and 1 QB hit in 5 games started. So yes. At number 4, I have Kendall Hinton. Notorious emergency quarterback for the Broncos a couple years ago. He's their kick returner and a depth wide receiver. And number 3, I have Boogie Basham, 2.5 sacks with the Bills last year. At number 2,
Carlos Basham
Jr. Yeah,
who calls him Boogie?
He's listed on Our Lads as
Boogie.
So yeah,
solid.
So take that as you may. At number 2, I have Rams legend John Wofford. Did win a playoff start against the Seahawks a couple years ago. That still stings to this day. And then at number 1, I have Jesse Bates III. You might have heard of him. He only took a defense to the Super Bowl last year. Yeah. And then my honorable mention is none other than the greatest running back in the NFL, Kenneth Walker III. No bias in that situation.
Yeah.
And my college was, if you haven't guessed it, you might want to study up on it because they got a pretty decent quarterback coming out next year, Wake Forest University.
And if you said Michigan State, please
see yourself out. Yeah, see yourself out. Kenneth Walker did transfer. I know it's not as known. He did transfer. He played 3 years at Wake Forest, transferred to Michigan State this year. It was hard not to put Kevin Johnson on this list, but Kevin Johnson isn't currently on an NFL team, according to Our Lads. So, former first-round pick, I believe 15th overall in 2015, if I'm remembering that correctly, because I memorized that draft a little too much. He did not make the list, unfortunately. But Wake Forest,
shout out,
not bad at the top. I mean, Jesse Bates, obviously stud. John Wofford, certified stud, should be starter.
I feel like the Kenneth Walker thing is like very telling of Wake Forest, because they are produce some talent, but then the talent goes elsewhere before going to the NFL kind of thing.
Yes, they do have a 5-star quarterback currently in Sam Hartman.
Sam Hartman guy.
Yeah, I am a big Sam Hartman guy. I watched the tape because I thought he'd come out this year. Watched a ton of tape on him this year. Probably I think I watched the most on him because he has fun tape. By the way, Wake Forest, if you ever watch Wake Forest tape, weird ass mesh point with their running backs. They just hold the ball in their running back's chest for 3 seconds. It is weird. Way too long. But Sam Hartman, go watch this guy. If he cleans it up a little bit, he'll be the number 1 overall pick next year. He is very good. Wow. He has all the tools in the world. He has a strong arm. He'll be a first-round pick. I'll say that. He'll be a first-round pick if he cleans it up.
I could see that. I feel like that's more realistic. Yeah. But to see him go over somebody like CJ Stroud or Bryce Hall, that's
Bryce Young.
Oh, my bad.
We're naming TikTok stars.
I'm mixing up Bryce Hall and you know who I meant. But yeah, I think that he's a great player. I'm not a big guy to watch tape or anything like that.
Yeah.
I tried my hand at it a little bit this past year, and the only game that I watched of Sam Howell was that game against Wake Forest. And watching both sides of that, watching both offenses, was a lot of fun.
That was a fun game.
Sam Hartman he's for real.
He's got as strong his arm as anybody. He's got a really quick release. He's not really mobile. He's kind of more of a pocket passer, but man, he can sling it. He can fucking sling it. He's pretty accurate too. He just makes some dumbass decisions. He's got a little bit of Drew Lock syndrome, but
he was on a TV show.
He was on QB1. Right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was on QB1. Who else? Justin Fields. was on QB1. There was another 5-star that like did not. Tate Martell.
Oh, Tate Martell. Yeah.
Tate Martell, the most notorious 5-star.
I haven't heard in a little while.
I think he's still in college. He's trying to start at UNLV.
He retired
so many times.
Did he retire?
He retired.
It's about time.
Yeah, dude, that was like one of the biggest flops of all time. Like as a 5-star, like nobody knew why this kid was rated a 5-star. Like he had to be paying somebody off. Like that's the only way. Have you guys? I know this isn't have you guys gotten the chance to look at some of the way too early 2023 mock drafts and seen the amount of quarterbacks going in these first rounds?
Yeah, I've seen it a little bit.
I've seen 3 in the top 10.
A lot of the ones I'm seeing still have like the Jaguars, the Lions, like up there, which, you know, fair enough. I could see them still being a top 10 or some top 10 teams, but there's going to be some quarterbacks next year.
Yeah. There was one, I forget who did it. It might've been Fox, that put one out where they had, is this it? This is it. Okay. Right. I'm going to read this off to you. Okay. Jason McIntyre's 2023 NFL mock draft. I'm just going to read you off the top 10. Okay. First overall, Texans, CJ Stroud. Not crazy. All right. We're starting off fine.
Fair enough.
Second overall, the Atlanta Falcons take Will Levis.
Second
overall.
Oh, no, it's Levis.
Yeah, it's Levis.
Yeah. No.
Fun fact, I know his sister.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. He went to Xavier, which is a all-boys school not too far from me, and his sister went to my high school. She was a senior when I was a freshman, and I had a class with her.
Wow. Will Levis, former Nittany Lion, back up to Sean Clifford, with all the potential in the world, but we just used him as a running back. So if he were to go second overall, I think I'd throw myself off the bridge. For having that type of talent.
A lot of people, from what I'm seeing right now, are pretty high on him.
He has all the tools in the world. Like he can fucking sling it, man.
I thought
like,
he was going to come out this year.
Yeah.
Obviously that didn't end up happening.
I think maybe in this class, he actually probably wouldn't have been drafted too low, but like in any normal, like an average quarterback class, like if he came out after 1 year at Kentucky, like he's probably like a 4th round pick, 5th round pick with a lot of potential. But I do think he could play himself. I don't think he's a 1st round pick. Maybe he plays himself into the late 1st round.
Yeah. Play himself up some.
Yeah. Which again, but I just, man, I think I'd kill myself if that happened, bro. Like that's bad. We kept Sean Clifford when we had Will Levis on the, fuck. Jesus Christ, James Franklin. Okay. Number 3. By the way, Will Levis going ahead of Bryce Young. Detroit Lions take Bryce Young, number 3. That's just bullshit. Number 4. This one's the fun one. Oh, this is where it gets interesting. 4th overall, the Carolina Panthers. Jason McIntyre has them taking DJ Uiagalelei from Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
The guy
Another
who
bad
had Clemson.
Pick.
The guy who had Clemson unranked for the first time in like 10 years.
That feels like a Panthers pick.
Yeah.
Well,
that feels like
talk shit. They've been drafting pretty decent. Let me
know. Yeah. That's just not going to happen. Like I get he was a 5-star quarterback, all the talent in the world.
He would have to turn it around big time.
Huge. Big time. He just did not look like a 1st round pick. I see the talent when I watched him, but he was unsettled in the pocket a little too much. He cleaned it up a little bit towards the end of the year. It was a little better, but like he was not ready to start. He made some dumb decisions. He throws across his body a lot. He threw some dumb picks. Don't know about that. Number 5 overall. I'm not done, by the way. 5 straight quarterbacks. Number 5 overall. We have Anthony Richardson, quarterback from Florida. I don't know who this is.
So Bryce Young still has not gone.
No, Bryce Young went 3rd to the Lions.
You said that. Yeah.
And Anthony Richardson from Florida. Some Florida fans are going to kill me in the comments for not knowing. I watch Big Ten football. I don't watch SEC football, but this is, I've never heard of him. So that says a little bit because I do watch a lot of college football. Will Anderson at 6, the Jets. He might be the best player in next year's draft, so that's understandable. Jackson Smith-Njigba, understand, great wide receiver at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And number 8 overall, Tyler Van Dyke, quarterback of Miami, going to the Seahawks.
Lovely. Love it. That's the best pick so far, actually.
Yeah. So no. So he has 6 quarterbacks going in the top 10.
That's insane.
6.
That is wild.
2 of which I have not heard mentioned in the first round.
Like there's some talented quarterbacks next year, but there's not that many talented quarterbacks next year.
He also has Phil Yurkovich from Boston College going in the first round, who he has some talent. I forget where he transferred out of, but he does have some talent. But he has a total of 7 quarterbacks going in the first round next year, which I can't see a chance in hell that happens.
Yeah, personally, I mean, I don't understand why people get like the biggest like need to make more 2023 mock drafts the second 2022 happens.
Yeah.
I'm also I've seen people like rip on people for doing that, like saying you're not going to get any right, but it's like, let them do what they want. But why do people feel the need to just try to do it like a whole year early?
It's a hot topic.
It's more content. It's more content that they can put out. It's like, it's kind of the like football fan, like, oh, this is over. What's going to happen next year? Like, it's kind of like the moving on kind of thing. But
yeah,
I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy to me, though.
I just there's no way that many quarterbacks go.
It's too much.
There's just not.
If Will Levis goes 2nd overall, I don't know what I will do.
That would be
that would be wild to me.
That's a Trayvon Walker pick right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And if the Seahawks take whoever the fuck Tyler Van Dyke is, now I know some Miami fans are probably screaming through their phone screen right now that I don't know who Tyler Van Dyke is. Spad, do you know who Tyler Van Dyke is?
Barely. Statistically, I know he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
25 to 6 TD INT ratio.
Did you just look that up?
I looked up his stats, yeah, but
okay.
I know who he is.
Okay. All right.
I've heard the name too.
I haven't.
I don't know a ton about him either. I know I've been looking at some of these 2023 mock drafts and stuff, and I see some people having him going a little bit later.
And the fact that and no Spencer Rattler in the first round, no Sam Hartman, who we just talked about in the first round in this draft, in this mock draft.
Rattler. He might be undrafted.
Spencer Rattler. Okay, no.
There's just so many of these that are like it's gonna and that's the whole like thing with doing it this early. There's just so many of these guys that are gonna have to play themselves up to go at these positions.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler transferring, supposed to have a ton of talent. He's gonna have to play well, and he's in a tough conference.
Yeah.
So I think that he's not gonna get drafted, but I'm thinking that it's gonna be hard for him to really play up to a first round pick or something like that.
I don't think it's hard for him because he has like, you turn on the tape, you see the talent, like you see it right away. You're like, this kid has everything. He has the mobility. He has the arm strength. Like he has everything. He has everything you want out of a quarterback. And he just makes such dumb decisions.
I'm gonna say this right now.
Okay.
And I need you guys to remember this because when we're talking about the draft next year, Caleb Williams is going to be the third quarterback off the board.
Third specifically.
Third quarterback off the board after only CJ Stroud and Bryce Young.
Okay. Should we just go with this and make some bold predictions for next year's
mine.
draft? Right,
I went ahead and said mine, but you guys, if you want to throw one out there.
All right. I think by the start of next year's draft, Sam Hartman is a top 15 pick in next year's draft. I like that. Not too bold, but a little bold. It's not quite Sam Darnold MVP-esque, but it's a nice little hot take right there.
What was it? Sam Hartman's what?
Sam Hartman top 15 pick next year.
Oof. Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking about Spencer Rattler, who I'm not a fan of. I think Spencer Rattler at the highest is drafted in the third round.
The third.
Okay.
Honestly, that I feel like that's not that hot personally.
I don't think that's. No, I could see a team taking him early just for the traits. But then again, Malik Willis went in the third this year, who was the same situation.
I've watched one full Spencer Rattler game, and I think it was versus Iowa State.
This was worst.
Yeah, and that was the first game I watched with him, and I was disgusted.
He was left in the mouth.
I watched his. I watched some tape of some quarterbacks before the season this year, before the college football season. His sophomore tape was much better than this. He just had a terrible year this year. Like he did not play well.
It was very odd. Going from last season into this season, because you're coming into this season and Spencer Rattler and Sam Howell are supposed to be the guys. They are supposed to be it.
Yep.
And then you come into it and UNC looks like shit. Not because of Sam Howell. I'm throwing that out there. Still QB1, no, screaming QB1.
Nope.
And then Spencer Rattler gets his job taken.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
And not by some shit. Like Caleb Williams just emerged. He played very well.
And he's going to a conference where he's going to continue to be able to play well because the Pac-12 is just not very strong.
Shit. It ain't shit.
You're competing with Oregon.
Yeah. Shout out Alex Forsyth, by the way, friend of the podcast. Oh yeah.
Shout out. Our best friend.
Big shout out.
Every episode.
Yeah. So aside from future first round pick Alex Forsyth, like you're not looking at much in the Pac-12 to be worried about there.
Exactly.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix is another one. Yeah. He won't go first though. He won't go first. He was another one that was kind of talked about in that conversation though.
That'll be interesting though.
There's a lot, man. Just seeing that amount of names though in the first, like that, at least it gives me some hope. Like, cause everybody was talking about how good this quarterback class was. I really only watch Big Ten football. So like, I knew about, like, I know CJ Stroud is going to be a top pick next year. Like I know Will Levis is probably going to be second round ish projected probably at this point.
That's the thing with next year's class, because I feel like there's some guys that could have come out this year but opted to stay. Yeah. And I don't think there's a ton of top end talent. Like there's more than there was this year.
Yeah.
Like the ceiling there is higher.
DTR from UCLA also stayed.
Yeah. But there's just more. There's just more quarterbacks available. I feel like more. Yeah. The ceiling is higher and the floor is also higher.
Yeah. And I think
that's the best way to put it.
I think we are without a doubt going to have a guy emerge as the number one overall pick in this college football season.
It'll be a quarterback this year.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a quarterback. And I think one of these guys is going to separate themselves from the rest. I don't know whether to root for or root against Will Levis, because it's like, I love the guy and I want him to succeed because he didn't get to here.
Penn State have that
the fact that the Penn State could have possibly had a top 10 NFL quarterback, top 10 selection in the NFL draft as their backup, who, by the way, just Gage, like he was our Taysom Hill. Like that's how we used Will Levis. I shit you not. Like go back and watch how we used Will Levis exactly like Taysom Hill is used. Exactly the same way. Just like we'd split him out at receiver, like we'd use him in like power options at the quarterback
top
position.
Tight end in the league.
Yeah. No, like he and this guy was like throwing bullets when he went in a quarterback. Very raw, but you saw the talent, and we just like, no, Sean Clifford. No, let's keep going with Sean Clifford.
I definitely think that mock is overestimating, but I think that he's one of those guys, like you said, that the traits are there, and that's what teams will look at.
Talia Tagovailoa too. He's another one.
Maryland, right?
Yeah, Maryland. Yep, he's coming out next year. He could come out next year. He's been he's had his moments. You see the potential there. I don't know.
Teams are going to be overwhelmed with quarterbacks next draft.
There's potential there.
I would like to say real quick, talking about guys that could like lock in that number one spot. It's hard not to say Will Anderson.
Yeah.
He dominated.
I think he's the best player in the draft next year. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think he's the best player in the draft next year. And I don't think
it's going to be a quarterback that goes number one.
Well, because there's been a lot of drafts where you look at it and you go, well, this guy's the best player, but quarterback's always going to be taken number one.
Yeah. I think they're with as many quarterbacks as there are next year. And there's several guys toward the top of that. I think there's definitely still if we're looking at the betting odds or something like that. Like Will Anderson, I think could definitely be the top of that. But then there's going to be like 3 or 4 spots after that I think you're looking at quarterback.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And hopefully one of those spots are the Seahawks. Because or maybe not. Maybe Drew Lock throws 35 touchdowns this year. And we're like just silences everybody.
All right. I think it's time to end it on that.
I think it's time to end it. Right when I start mentioning Drew Lock 30 touchdowns is when it's cue for me to end the show.
It's getting too late.
Right. Yeah, a little too late. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Sped, for joining us on the pod. Always appreciate you being here. If you guys want to say any closing statements, go ahead, Gage. You can start us off.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not following us on our socials, definitely be sure to do that. I'm Extra Points. Jake is Jake Maltese 3. Luke is Football Fan Zone despite not being here, and Steven or Ooga Booga Man, whatever he prefers, is Elsped on TikTok as well. So definitely be sure to follow us there. We have our Totally Unqualified socials also, like we talked about one of our posts for our first segment today. So, I mean, definitely check that out as well. Steven makes a bunch of awesome stuff that he posts on there. So we appreciate him very much for that. And we would appreciate you very much for checking that stuff out.
Yeah, rate, review, like, share, send, whatever you're listening on. Send it to your grandfather who's in jail for juvie delinquent violence.
What?
Make sure
so what was going on in that sentence?
Shares $5 from Florida State.
I have no idea what he just said, but all right. We'll see you guys in the next episode.